Well, hello people's internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how I annotate books, but in particular, I'm going to be talking about the book Simon versus the Homo Sapiens agenda, because I tabbed this book or annotated it quite a lot, so I'm going to be talking about how I annotated this book and how I annotate my books just in general. And a lot of people have been doing these kind of videos on YouTube at the minute, especially my friend Chloe from Books with Chloe. I've seen Brittany from Brittany Bibliophile do one too, so I'm going to leave both of their videos linked down below because both of them annotate their books quite a bit differently than I do. So just in case you want another perspective on how people annotate books, I'm just going to include them down below so you can go check their videos out and see how they annotate, because we're all different around here. Everyone is unique and they do it a lot more artsier and cuter than I do because it's me here, guys. And yeah, mine is just not that level of like organized. Chloe underlines stuff and like writes quotes down in like a notebook and stuff, and it's quite cute, but I don't do that, you know? I'm not on their level yet. So yeah, if you want like a more simpler or like average way of doing it, but then you're at the right place because that's exactly how I annotate my books. So I don't actually have the sticky notes with me that I use to tab my books, so I can't actually show you them, but they're basically the same ones everyone uses that you get in like a traditional stationery shop or a bookstore. They usually sell them in packets there and they just come with all the different colors on them kind of thing. I'm assuming you guys know what I mean. I'll include a photo if you don't, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows what I mean. You see them basically any stationery shop, they're there for sale. So I only tend to annotate books that I really like, and or a book that I know I'm going to absolutely love, or if it's a favorite author, such as this one. I actually annotated Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens agenda the second time I read it, because the first time I read it I didn't know I was gonna love it that much, but it ended up being like one of my favorite books of all time. So when I reread it before the movie came out, I was like, I want to annotate and pick all of my favorite parts out. So that's what I did, and we ended up with all of these different colors and all of this colorful madness. Honestly, I tab so much of this book. It's actually kind of ridiculous, but I don't even care because I love how much I annotated it, because I love this book so much. It just shows that I love it, you know. All of these colors represent how much it means to my little heart. Let's just dive in here and talk about it. So basically, I go through my books and I pick a color that's going to represent each different thing. So for this one, I use the colors yellow, orange, purple, a light pink, and blue. So 5 different colors I chose for this book. I'm pretty sure the light pink at the end is to still go with the purple. I think I ran out of purple, so I ended up using lighter pink because it was very similar to it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened there. So technically I used 4 colors and I just ran out because I used so much of the purple. I'm gonna go through the colors and what I used and what they represented. The orange represented something that was really funny to me, or something that made me laugh. I just found it really funny. Purple or pink what means like it's really cute, or like it melted my heart, gave me all the feels. Blue represents my favorite quotes. Yellow represents something that I related to and just found very relatable. Now that you know what all those colors mean, now you can look at it and see like what I meant. Like there's a lot of yellow and there's a lot of pink, because this book gives me a lot of feels. But I also have a lot of quotes in here that I love. A lot of parts that I related to, especially because there's a lot of yellow. And then orange, there's just so many funny parts because Simon is just hilarious, and I also feel like Simon's me. So also I just want to point out, I don't underline what parts I'm talking about. I just stick the tab very close to where it's written in the book. I don't actually underline what it is. For some reason I just don't like to write in my books, and I also, if I like drew a line, it would be the most crooked line ever and it would just look disgusting. So we just don't want to ruin the book. So I just stick the tab very close to the quote I'm talking about. So let's just go through some of my tabs and what I did. So the first one I have here is an orange one, which means it was funny. So Simon is saying, no, it's cool, just greet the dog, pretend I'm not here. Because Leah goes to rub Bieber and she's just ignoring Simon. And he's just like, no, it's cool, just greet the dog, pretend I'm not here. And I found that very funny, but I also found it relatable. So I could have used the yellow tab also there, because like, I feel like a lot of people use my dog. Like, everyone's obsessed with Bella. I'm sure you guys have seen my dog Bella. And a lot of people love her and they're just like, immediately talk to my dog instead of me. And I'm just like, cool, pretend I'm not here. That's great. So this is the part where Simon and his sister Nora are talking about Halloween costumes. And Simon said he's going to go as a Dementor. And his sister said, "What's a Dementor?" And he goes, "I mean, I can't even. Nora, you are no longer my sister." And then she says, "So it's obviously some Harry Potter thing." And I find that very funny because, like, it just, the way he goes,
"I mean, I just can't even."
like, I can picture that so perfectly in my head, that exact scene, and like the disgusted face Simon would have. No, it just made me laugh, that part. I just found it really funny. Next funny part that I have is between Simon and Cal, and Simon says to Cal, "This is my first time, I say, because I just have to say the most virgin-y thing ever." And I just think that's so funny. Like, it's... I don't even know how to put it into words. It's so funny to me. Like, Simon is just hilarious. Like, I absolutely love him. There are some of the parts that I found funny, which represent orange. So now let's go through some of the pink, because the pink is the part that melts my little heart, and I'm very excited to talk about this. This is the part where Simon is with Nick and Leah at, like, Nick's house, and he's talking about how he can't talk about other stuff except with Blue, and he says, "Not that I can bring it up with Nick and Leah, I don't exactly talk about gay stuff with anyone except Blue." And that just melts my little heart, because Blue, I need my own Blue. Like, really, can someone find him for me? That'd be great, thanks. Save me a lot of effort trying to look for him, because I just need him. So the next cute part that I found was a part where Simon has just after coming out, and he says, "Isn't this so adorable?" They're talking about coming out and how it's going for Blue, and he goes, "I wonder how it's going for Blue. I wonder if Blue is feeling the same flutter in his stomach that I feel right now. Actually, he's probably feeling more than a flutter. He's probably so nauseated he can hardly choke the words out." And then it says, "My Blue." It's just the fact he says "my Blue." It's just adorable, and my emotions. And then the next part that I have lined is the part where Simon's just like, "Okay, I need to meet Blue. I need to know who he is. I want to meet him. I want to be my boyfriend." And he just says, "I think I'm a little bit in love with him." It's just so cute. I can't deal. And this is the part where Bram and Simon have finally met each other, and they're being very adorable. "So I lean in toward him and my heart is in my throat. I want to hold your hand," I say softly. "Because we're in public, because I don't know if he's out. So hold it," he says, and I do. So cute. It just means, like, it just shows that Bram really loves him because he wants him to hold his hand, and I can't deal. Okay, so that's enough of the cute parts, because there's just so many, and, like, it's gonna be too long of a video. So let's go to yellow, which means relatable, and there's a lot of yellow in here, guys. A lot of yellow. So the first one I have is when Simon's talking about, like, his first ever girlfriend, or the fact that he had girlfriends, and it just says, "I had this girlfriend. It was one of those things where you're dating, but you don't ever go outside of school, and you don't really do anything in school either." That was me. Like, I had a few girlfriends that were like that, so I just related to that. And another one I have is, honestly though, I think the reason I had a girlfriend was because I didn't 100% believe I was gay, or maybe I didn't think it was permanent. And that's something that I relate with so freaking much, because I feel like a lot of gay people, or anyone on the LGBTQIA community, believe, like, they just don't know if they are in it. Like, they're thinking, "Oh, maybe this is just like a passing feeling, or like it will pass," and then you just don't know if it's permanent, so you don't believe that it could be true. And I just related a lot with that quote. This is basically when when Simon has come out, and he's just talking to Blue in the email about it, and he says, "A part of me feels like I jumped over some kind of border, and I'm now on the other side, realizing I can't cross back. I think it's a good feeling, or at least an exciting feeling, but I'm not sure, and am I making any sense at all?" And that's something that I relate with a lot, because once you come out, you're like, you feel like you're on the other side of the glass kind of thing, and you're looking back at who you were kind of thing, and it's like, did I do the right thing? And you're just like realizing, and you're like, yeah, it just makes sense. And if you've came out, or if you have done anything like this, you would understand and maybe relate to that also. This is basically, again, where Simon is now coming out to his family, and he's talking about in his head about, like, before he actually does it, and he's saying, like, "How did Blue do this? 2 words, 2 freaking words, and I'm not the same Simon anymore. My hand is over my mouth and I stare straight ahead." That is something, like, it's so daunting. Like, just 2 words, "I'm gay," just changes everything, and he was just overthinking it a lot, and it's something that was the same with me, so I just related a lot with it, and I could resonate a lot. This is something I related to, because it's talking about, Simon's talking about being single, which I'm just saying, like, Simon's literally me. He's talking about how single he is, so me, except Simon actually gets a boy at the end, which hasn't happened for me, you know. But he's basically saying that I'll probably never have a boyfriend. I'm too busy trying not to be in love with someone who isn't real. Me! That's me with Reese. Like, guys, this is me. Becky Albertalli seriously just knows me, and she's just using me to write her characters in her book. Okay, so the final color that I used was blue, which is quotes. So let's go through some of my favorite quotes, because some of these quotes in this book are just amazing and I love them so freaking much. One that everyone knows, it was in the trailer. It's one of the ones that are on t-shirts and everything. As a side note, don't you think everyone should have to come out? Why is straight the default? Everyone should have to declare one way or another, and it should be this big awkward thing whether you're straight, gay, bi, or whatever. I'm just saying. That's something that I relate with a lot, and it's just a quote I adore so much, and it's one of the big quotes from this book and the movie, so it's just a really great quote for me, and I just love that quote so much. And the next one that I really like is one that Simon's saying in an email to Blue, and it's just the name of the book that appears in the book, and I love when authors use the name of their book in the actual story. So he says, the homosexual agenda. I don't know, I think it's more like the Homo Sapiens agenda. That's really the point, right? And I just love that, because it's just like Simon versus the Homo Sapiens agenda, and then so Homo Sapiens agenda pops up in the book. So I just really like that. This is another part where Simon's actually talking about brand. Just another thing that I love so much, and I think it's very important. And it says, I guess I assumed that blue would be white, which kind of makes me want to smack myself. White shouldn't be the default any more than straight should be the default. There shouldn't even be a default. And I just love that quote so much, and I feel like a lot of people in this world could learn a lot from that quote. So I really liked it. And yeah, they're just some of the quotes that I really liked from this book. There's a lot of other ones, but they're not like deep, meaningful quotes. They're just like fun parts that I like, and I just like the conversation. I like what they're saying, and I just like the quote. So yeah, that's how I annotated Simon versus the Homo Sapiens agenda. I basically just stick my tab on the part that I like, and the colors correspond to different things. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know if it was even interesting, but I just love talking about this book because it's my favorite book of all time. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed it too, because I just love talking about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I shall see you all next time in my next video. So goodbye, guys.